Hey everyone, it's Peter Kerr from Daydream Nation, and look who I've got to the channel, Peter Wicks. How are you, my mate?
Good, mate. Almost another year down.
Oh, where did the time go? Yes, it's that time of the year. It's our best of 2025, where Pete and I go through the top 5 concerts, the top 5 albums, and we just talk about major events that occurred during the year as a bit of a recap and what we'd like to see in 2026. So pretty good year in music, I think, Pete, especially on the concert front. It was just chock-o-block. I think it's been one of the best years for concerts in recent memory. And to put it down into a top 5, and I know you're doing a top 4, has just been an absolute struggle because there was so many gigs. So I'm going to do a top 5, and I'll start things off, and then you can go chime in from 4. And I've got a few honourable mentions. My number 5, Pete, was Uli John Roth. Now, Uli John Roth was the guitarist of the Scorpions in the 70s. So this is his first time he ever played Australia, played at Sydney University. He was playing classic 1970s Scorpion songs that have never been played before in Australia. He was on stage. He was dressed up like Merlin the Wizard. He had this wonderful guitar tone. He had this crack band behind him. And he just played all the hits from the 70s off the albums like In Trance, Fly to the Rainbow, Lonesome Crow, Taken by Force. It's just magnificent. And just hearing those songs like Sails of Charon and In Trance. And the bass player who was the lead singer, and apologies, the name escapes me, kind of sung like Klaus from the Scorpions. So it felt like I was watching the Scorpions in the 70s. Yeah. It was just magnificent. But, that guitar tone, magnificent. And folks want to check out, I put a clip on Rock Daydream Nation of In Trance when I was in the audience, and you'll just see how good he was. So that was my number 5. Equal number 5 is Toto and Christopher Cross. Saw them with my wife at the ICC Theatre in Sydney. I've always loved Toto because not a lot of people think of them as yacht rock, but I always think that they've got a little bit of hard rock.
I've heard that term before.
Yeah, a little bit of hard rock edge, a little bit of prog, pop. They've got everything, and they've got the great Steve Lukather on guitar. He's probably the only original member in the band. Joseph Williams, who was the second vocalist after Bobby Kimball on vocals. And they had just a fantastic band, and they played all the hits: Rosanna, Africa, Hold the Line, Carmen, 99. It was like it was just classic. It was like in your living room listening to the stereo. Christopher Cross wasn't too shabby as well. Ride Like the Wind. I've always had a soft spot for that song. And
was he supporting, or was he?
He was supporting, yes. He's a really good guitarist, really good tone, very fluid guitarist. He was, his flame burnt quite brightly for a couple of years and then disappeared. But he was wheeling out the hits, and I was just familiar with all these songs that I hadn't heard in such a long time. I know that one. So Toto and Christopher Cross, that was a very entertaining night, and that was my equal 5th. So my 5th, Uli John Roth, in a tie with Toto and Christopher Cross. Look, so many. I had to cram it into 5, so that was a way of sneaking an extra one in. So cheating a little bit. Sorry. Okay, what's your number 4?
Well, these aren't in any particular order, but I'll say I don't know if you remember this guy. Guy by the name of Nathan Cavalieri.
I do indeed.
Remember him from when he was a young kid. I can't remember how he became famous when he was a young kid. He was on a TV show or something or other at the age of 10 with a guitar. He played at the Blues Festival here, and he's all grown up now, obviously, and he was fantastic. Like, it was, he was just a great performer. Like, he's obviously been in front of the spotlight for donkey's years, so he knows how to do it. He doesn't. But yeah, just fantastic. Does all his own vocals, and it's when I saw him, it was basically him and like a backing thing with drums and whatnot. No other musicians, just him and his guitar, and yeah.
Like a one-man show. Was it a one-man show? Okay, very good.
Absolutely awesome, yeah. So, and fantastic guitarist, obviously. Most people remember him for being a bit of a virtuoso from when he was 10 years old. But
he was a child prodigy, and I think I can remember footage of him being introduced to Mark Knopfler, and maybe Mark Knopfler got him on stage from Dire Straits, and I think he's done some work with Elton John, and he actually toured the world and did a run of dates through America, and absolutely.
He was with what was it? I've forgotten what the name of the charity is. It's but it's one of those charities that has kids with terminal illnesses.
Make a Wish.
Yeah, one of those type of things.
Yes, sort of like that.
He was very, very sick when he was a kid, and his wish was to meet Mark Knopfler, and that's how that came about. And anyway, he whatever it was, he I believe he was cured because he's fine now. But I understand he paid all the money back and everything like that, and donated, a truckload more to them. And
Yeah, I've actually seen him live. He supported. There was this the Allman Brothers. It wasn't the Allman Brothers, but it's the son of the Allman Brothers that continue on playing the music. And he was the support, and I was quite impressed. So he's continued with it. But folks, even though he was a child prodigy, he had talent and had game. And
absolutely.
To anyone who could hear him, you could hear that this kid was blessed with something. A lot of these musicians like Mark Knopfler had mentored him, and it's good to see he's going on with it. So that's a great choice. Great to hear that you caught up with Nathan.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. My number 4 is the Pixies. Now, I was a little bit worried about this band because I've heard lots of varying stories about them live, that when they're on, and when they're off, they stare at their shoes, they look completely disaffected, they don't want to be there, and the lead singer, Frank Black, is a little bit surly. So I wanted to tick them off because I've always enjoyed their music, Pete. I've got Doolittle, the album, which is a classic, and I wanted to tick a box. So they played Sydney Hordern Pavilion. They were doing, one night they were playing Doolittle from start to finish, and the other night was the greatest hits. So I went with my mate. We saw the greatest hits, and they were great. Frank Black was engaged. The whole band was into it. I mean, the majority of the songs were from Doolittle, but they played a smattering of some songs from The Night the Zombies Came, which was their latest album. Come On Pilgrim. It was a whopping 29-song set.
Wow.
Here Comes the Man. They played the third song. So, when you think of that, you go, it's going to be encore. Got it out of the way. They played songs like Debaser, Monkey Goes to Heaven. Hell, they even threw in a Jesus and the Mary Chain song head on.
Really?
Yeah, so it was an absolute cracker of a night, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I was so fearful because I've heard all these stories about them being the shoegaze of shoegaze bands, but they were into it. When you're in the pocket and everyone's having fun and you're feeding off the crowd and you're in that zone, it's just great for both parties. It's a two-way thing, and I felt it that night. So there you go. It's a big surprise. Number 4.
Well, they're a classic band. I mean, they've been around for donkey's years, and I've never seen them. I don't know how I've missed them. There's something else has come up every time they've come out. I've been meaning to go. I've seen Frank Black playing solo, and he was fantastic. But I've never seen the Pixies. But maybe one of the causes for the reputation that your mates were talking about is they've gone through a number of lineup changes. So I understand now. I think the last tour was pretty much the original lineup minus Kim Deal. Is that Is that right?
Yeah, there could be a lot of angst because he's no longer in it in the band. So yeah, but Joey Santiago, he was in the pocket, lead guitar. David Lovering on drums, and Emma Richardson has picked up the position from Kim Deal.
From Kim Deal, yeah. Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
great.
So, there you go.
Well, my next one is another Aussie band, Jebediah. Caught their last tour, and those guys have still got it. So they basically had just a ball of energy, basically, and they just cranked it from start to finish. There wasn't much chatter in between songs or anything. They just hit it and went hard, and absolutely brilliant. Like, we were right at the front. Singer jumped into the audience and landed on Nat, and she was holding him up while he's belting out a guitar solo, and it was fantastic.
Is Nat okay?
Yeah, it was intentional. Like, he didn't actually knock her over or anything. He just comes into the audience. It was excellent. Yeah, really good show. Like, full on high energy show. I don't know if it's a 30th anniversary tour or something or other, but it was. They were absolutely as good as they ever were.
So for the folks of north of the equator, Jebediah, big band in Australia. They're alternative rock. How would you describe them? A bit of power pop, a little bit of punk, a little bit of hard rock. But they always had pop sensibilities that you could actually hear their songs played on the radio. But I'd say more so in the alternative.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we've got to describe it. There's some of these bands.
They're a hard one to pigeonhole. Yeah.
Fantastic. That's great. My number 3 was a band that had not played Australia since 1987, and this band, commonly known as OMD, or to others known as Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark. Fantastic, this band was. Played the Enmore Theatre, 2 sold-out nights. These guys are the architects of 1980s synth pop. So think Kraftwerk with even more pop hooks, and you're in the right sort of ballpark for Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark. So many hits, fantastic light show. You still had the originals of Andy McCluskey and Paul Humphreys. They had a lot of energy. They were really sort of engaging with the crowd, and the songs Enola Gay, If You'd Leave, Souvenir, and Joan of Arc. I was on a high at the end of this show. So, it's just timeless synth pop. And I just think those synth bands that are kind of analog, and I'm talking about the early 80s where they had those really sort of analog keyboards, it's got a timeless sound. And that's why bands or acts like Gary Newman seem to have a career now. They're going on and on and on, because there are some synth acts in the 80s that you listen to it and you go, oh, that's it, kind of, you can carbon date it to a particular year because it's kind of a little bit dated, the synth drums and the reverb.
Like Ultravox and that type of...
maybe not, but that's another show. But OMD, that, just the sonics of this band, it's kind of timeless. And I think it harks back because their biggest influence was Kraftwerk, and that's why Kraftwerk, listen to their albums. It just seems like it's contemporary.
Yeah.
And there's a whole movement of music at the moment that's flourishing called synthwave, and it goes back to bands like Kraftwerk and OMD. But they were great. Hooky songs, really engaging. And this is one band that doesn't need to do the 80s circuit where you get Paul Young warbles two songs on stage, the hook comes out, and then Kim Wilde comes on. They don't do that kind of 80s revival, sea cruise circuit. Yeah. These guys can sell out venues in their own right. So OMD, Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark, that's my number 3. Classic.
I thought you were going to pick that one because I saw you put a few clips of that up on your Facebook, and I thought,
yeah. Well, you gave it a thumbs up. You liked it.
Yeah, indeed. So my next one, and it's a bit of a cheeky one. I didn't actually go to the gig. I saw it online, and it was well, it was one of those ones that's on a weekday in Melbourne, and this was actually a daytime gig, and it was in Federation Square, and it was Kneecap. So Kneecap, I don't know if you know much about Kneecap. They're Irish. I don't know how you describe their sound. They remind me a lot of the Beastie Boys, like early Beastie Boys, that kind of attitude. So they've done a couple of club gigs, again, on weekdays, unfortunately. And they did a gig at Federation Square. Federation Square, this is a weekday at lunchtime, and it was packed, and they had to close down, had to block it off because there wasn't enough room for everybody that wanted to get in. So they basically had to close down streets. And it's just amazing that a band that sings, a lot of their songs are in Gaelic, like Irish Gaelic, and yet you see 10,000 people that know it word for word, and it's in another language. It's amazing. They just a ball of energy and activism, basically. And, fantastic. Pity I didn't get to see them at one of their club gigs, which was controversial.
Your viewers, Pete's cheating, but I'll let it through this time, but I won't allow it next year, mate. All right?
Well, Fed Square was actually, at Fed Square, I should mention, there was another free, there was a 3 free gigs there this year. Robbie Williams, Kneecap got a massively bigger audience than Robbie Williams. And the other one, which I should mention, was Amel and the Sniffers, and it didn't happen. It got yanked by the cops just before they hit the stage.
But the brief is you should be there. Like, I could have put number 1, Black Sabbath, the final concert, is the concert of the year. Well, I did see online.
You did see it online.
Look, you're a friend. I'll let you through this time. You're a little bit sneaky, but this time, in spirit, you're a mate. I'll let it through. Let it through. But
my mum always said it's the thought that counts, and I thought about being there.
Man, I'll let it through. Anyway. All right, number 2, number 1. This was really tough. Number 2 was PJ Harvey live in front of the Sydney Opera House under, I think it was in March or February. Beautiful summery night. The stars were twinkling, and PJ Harvey was absolutely magic. So it was a concert of 2 sets. The first part of it was she was basically playing all the songs off her album I Inside the Old Year Dying 2023. And to be fair, it's a very difficult album. It's neo-folk, bit of post-punk. It's kind of very avant-garde. It's like music that makes you work for it. I liked it, but a lot of traditional PJ Harvey fans probably didn't. And this is one where she's using a lot of different vocal tones. It's experimental. There's even some songs that sound like they're kind of medieval. I loved it. And then it kind of switched over to her greatest hits. And, oh, boy, I'm getting a shiver up my spine just thinking about it. She is sexy. She's sultry. She has star power. And she had the audience in the palm of her hand. So played all the hits. Come On, Billy, To Bring You My Love, Down by the Water, The Garden. Absolutely captivating. I've always said in my top 5 concerts of all time, where she played the Enmore Theatre, I think in 2000. Anyway, it was a long time ago. That was one of my favourite rock moments of all time. And she didn't disappoint this time. But there were some folks around me that didn't groove on this concert as much as I did. And I know you did, and you may be talking about her simply because they found the first part of the set where she was playing this very experimental album. They probably found that a little bit hard, heavy going. But I loved it because I thought it made you listen, work for it, and at the end it was quite rewarding.
Yeah. Well, Well, that was my top gig for the year, the PJ Harvey, and I did go to that one. You were there with me, so
Yes, I was.
you can vouch for me for that one.
Yes.
I found her absolutely mesmerising from the moment she came out till the moment she walked off. I thought she was fantastic. All the most recent album, the first part of the concert, and it was definitely a concert of two halves. I think she might have even lost she had a particular like throw on over.
A change of costume.
Yeah, she had a change of costume. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, just absolutely brilliant. The way she did her moves, it was, yeah, you just couldn't take your eyes off her. Just absolutely mesmerising. And and then when she hit the hits, like when she did Down by the Water and she brings out the sticks, the tap, 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 the crowd went absolutely nuts. Because, I think
she's hot.
Yeah.
She's hot.
Yeah.
And all my friends say the same. What do you think of PJ Harvey? I go to my mate James. Hot. She's hot. She is. A lot of people talk about, like pop starlets of today. I think PJ runs rings around them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just raw talent,
She is. She's got it. Star power.
In spades.
Yeah. But look, do you agree with what I say? If you're used to the PJ Harvey of Dry and certain songs like Rid of Me, maybe the first part of this whole concert, that album, would be a challenge to you. But I found it captivating.
Like we've seen PJ like totally adapt, from Dry and right through her whole career, and she's kind of mellowed out a bit, and this last one is certainly very mellowed out sound. That's I just find her hypnotic almost. So
yeah, absolutely. My number one is Testament. I saw Testament, I think it was in May at the Metro Theatre, packed audience, and they were on absolute fire. What a band. Look at their discography. I think they have been one of the most consistent thrash metal bands. They came from the same region as bands such as Metallica came from, the Bay City thrash area, San Francisco. Yeah. And a lot of people reckon that this band should be in the Big Four. But, look, they've just done the biz, head down, got on with the job, and it's just a cracker show. Played songs like Sins of Admission, Low, Native Blood, Return to Serenity. I just think, the musicianship of this band is out of this world, and they just played an absolute cracker of a set. And, they should have been much bigger. It's a bit of a head scratch. They were signed to Atlantic Records for a run of albums. They were mooted as the big thing, but, just didn't quite break through to the next level like Megadeth or Metallica did. But, they've put out a new album, which may get a mention later in this show. And, they're not afraid to just push the boundaries. Some songs sound like thrash, some are like new wave of British heavy metal, some are hard rock, and some are all-out thrash metal. I know you're a big fan of them.
Yeah, I think the only reason there's the Big Four, the Big Four bands, obviously, Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, and Anthrax. I think the only reason it's not a Big Five is purely because I think Testament came along a bit later than those guys. I think had they come out at the same time, we'd be talking about Big Five, not the Big Four. But that would have been a great kick at the Metro too. Awesome. Absolutely.
Band. Chuck Billy's a very engaging frontman, good repartee with the audience. I like his vocal style. He can just do the real growl, and then he actually can croon in the ballads, a bit like a James Hetfield. And Eric Peterson and Alex Skolnick, they're, a lot of people talk about the twin guitar attack in Iron Maiden or Judas Priest. These two guitarists are right up there. They kind of got ESP, the weaving guitar lines. So, look, I just think they're absolutely killer. So that's my number one gig of the year.
Sorry,
Picked it by a decimal point over PJ Harvey, but a cracker of a year. And, if I can throw a couple of honourable mentions, I took the daughter and the wife as a family affair to a pop show, and I saw Dua Lipa, and that was perfect pop. It was a stadium spectacular. I don't know many of her songs, but I was impressed, and she could really put on a show. So that was a big tick for me. I enjoyed it. So when you, as a non-fan, don't know any of the songs and you come out of it impressed, well, you're won over. So that's an honourable mention, and she's got some good songs. Saw The Church with Steve Kilbey. He's the only original left. I was right up the front, and I've never seen Steve Kilbey be more engaging. He was cracking jokes. He was smiling. It was the singles tour, and they played all their hits from 1980, The Unguarded Moment, right to now, and I really enjoyed that. Awesome. Oasis, saw the stadium show. Good to see the brothers back together. I thought it was good, but I didn't rate it as great. And there were a lot of people that went to that show that were the other end of the scale to me. They thought it was great.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. I thought that the show, it went for 2.5 hours, but towards the back end of the set where they really back-ended the hits from What's the Story, Morning Glory, and Definitely Maybe, that's when the show lifted off, and there was more familiarity with the audience. That's when the show sort of went, on a really good trajectory. But I thought they were good. I really enjoyed it. I saw Winger on their very last show, so interviewed Red Beach on Rock Daydream Nation, saw the show. I know they used to cop a lot of flack in the day, the Beavis and Butthead, but God, this band are like Toto of heavy metal or hard rock. The musicianship of this band is really out of this world, and their songs had really tasty hooks, and they should have been much bigger. And finally, Todd Rundgren, saw him at Chatswood in this little kind of cabaret theatre. It was only 150 people in the audience. And this guy's a living legend. And it was like a cabaret show, and playing all these songs. I didn't know much about Todd Rundgren, but I came away impressed. And again, I put a clip on Rock Daydream Nation if you want to check that out. That's worth it.
Wow.
So chock-a-block, my friend. Concerts.
There was one stage like when Oasis were here, we had it across the whole country. There was in the same within a 2-week period, we had Oasis, Metallica, and AC/DC.
Yeah,
never
stops. But no, it's been a stellar year for concerts. So there you have it, Pete. I thought before we go into the albums, our top 5 albums of the year, maybe just talk about some monumental events that happened in 2025. Yeah. So I think one of the big ones for me was the final Black Sabbath show, Ozzy Osbourne, and also the passing of Ozzy Osbourne a couple of weeks later. Who would have written that story? It was incredible and quite moving.
Yeah. It's I mean, it was great that he got to put on his show, because he was obviously right on the edge.
Yes.
Right on the brink.
Absolutely. So I subscribed to the whole telecast. I enjoyed it. When Ozzy was the second last act of the concert, and then Black Sabbath, I think it was very emotional, and just to see Ozzy in the chair and just pulling all out stops to say farewell, and it was quite emotional. Like there was one of his songs was "Mama, I'm Coming Home," and the camera was panning to the audience, and people were dabbing their eyes, and it was kind of that was very moving.
Yeah.
So, but
amazing concert, amazing lineup as well. Like
absolutely,
there's not many people who you'd hold a an honorary concert for, and you'd get a lineup like that. Sabbath are about the only ones that would, Led Zeppelin would be another one that could probably
Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Anthrax. It was the who's who.
Yeah,
but
Slayer, Pantera. It's just
there are some minor gripes with the concert I had, and I've done that on another show, but I'm not going to bring that up now. I think the positive outweigh the negative, and I was in shock when I heard that Ozzy passed a couple of weeks later, and I think he's probably one of the most single important figures in hard rock and heavy metal. Nobody sings like him, and there's not going to be another person like Ozzy Osbourne. So strap in, folks, because there's going to be more of this, because our heroes are getting older, and we've just got to realise that, there's a lot of our rock legends, they're in their 80s.
Yeah.
So celebrate the music. Don't wait to put on one of your favourite rock legend band albums on the turntable until they pass. Do it now. Celebrate the music now, because...
Well, when it comes to legendary bands, I mean, there was Sabbath, and we lost another one this year as well, Ace Frehley.
That was unbelievable. I sort of saw that as it unfolded on social media, and it was like little Chinese whispers, and it just grew and grew, and it got confirmed. He inspired so many people to pick up the guitar. I think he was my favourite in the band. He was the guy who had the rock cred. He was a little bit edgy. He was probably the most authentic in the band. What you see is what you get. There's this narrative that he imbibed a little bit much on the side, but you can't deny that there was a certain rock musicology about him. Those early songs all wrapped around Ace. Yeah. So I think he's going to be sorely missed. Other notable, Sly Stone.
Yep.
With no Sly Stone, there wouldn't have been a Prince. There wouldn't have been a Bruno Mars. He's the one that sort of did that funk combined with a little bit of rock.
Yep.
Even rap, hip hop owes a big nod to Sly Stone. And I don't think the press really gave as much.
They didn't jump on that one.
Because there was another rock legend that died, I think, in close proximity, and probably took the spotlight from Sly to Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. He died, I think, from memory, in close proximity, and there was a lot of people. I'm not a huge Beach Boys fan, but I appreciate the significance of his work in the scheme of pop culture and pop and rock. So he's another loss. Another one I want to put a shout out to, and this is a personal loss, is Brian James. He was the original guitarist in The Damned.
Oh, yeah.
And he was on the Damned's first couple of albums, legendary guitarist. Lucky that the awesome foursome were able to get together in 2022 and do a run of dates through the UK. And that was the original four. But when you looked at the video footage, he didn't look well. He was sitting in a chair, and could tell that there was something not quite right. So, So I think the big issues.
Oh, another one. Sorry, another death that not a musician as such, but related. Rob Reiner, the creator of Spinal Tap, of course.
Yeah, that's tragic.
And there's going to be more unfolded with that story, I think. But massive loss for the film industry, and and he apparently had another Spinal Tap in the works. There's going to be a third one.
I nothing can describe the experience when I first saw that movie.
Yeah.
I was on the floor laughing. And to me, it was just so accurate and so biting and so absurd at the same time.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie hundreds of times, and I love it. So, but very sorely missed. So, all right, why don't we go to the top 5 albums of the year? Now, Pete, I don't know about you, but I was pretty metal this year. What about you?
Well,
I was really metal.
Well, a band that I was really keen on back in the 90s, a band called Cracker. I don't know if you remember Cracker. They had a song Teen Angst, and one of the line of that was, what the world needs now is another folk singer like I Need a Hole in the Head. 2 of my picks are kind of folky.
All right, well, put it in. Number 5.
All right. Are you going first or am I?
You.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, I'll start off with one of those folky type bands, Florence and the Machine. I mean, I don't know if you're a Florence fan, but
No.
No. Oh, well, the album's called Everybody Scream, and it's, I don't know what number album it is for her, but the thing I like about Florence is, one, she's got a great set of lungs. Like, she can belt out a tune and hold a voice. She's just phenomenal. She's I wouldn't say in a class of her own, but she's comes mighty close, and she's very unique. And the way she does, each album seems to have a different like theme or a different style to it, and she pulls it off pretty much every time. I just think she's phenomenal. And this one's no different. It's not another Lungs. If you're into Lungs, you know, it's not another one of those. But it's got very heavy beat. The beat's very heavy. As seems to be less of the Machine and more of the Florence, mine, except with a big beat over the top. Best tracks, Music by Men, which is one of the more mellower numbers on there. Perfume and Milk and Everybody Scream is an absolute thumper of a track.
A couple of years ago, they were big business. So the album before was a huge seller, but I have to admit, I haven't heard too much about this album. Sort of had a little bit of low wattage marketing.
It's come out late in the year, so it's it wasn't. Yeah, maybe you've just missed it because it's come out late in the year.
Yeah,
I can't remember. I'm not sure when it came out, but I know it was late.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I always like hearing your picks, Pete. So I'll listen to that and I'll give you my thoughts. I'll let you know. Fantastic. All right, I can't get as far away from Florence as the Machine as this one, Sodom. And the album I'm going to put up is The Arsonist. So this only has 2 of the original members, or 2 of the members from the 80s, Tom Angel Ripper Such and Frank Blackfire Gozitzik on guitar. Look, those early albums, In the Sign of Evil and Obsessed by Cruelty, were primitive, lo-fi, garage, death metal, but very influential in the circles in the circles that we hung out when we saw bands like Mortal Sin and Slaughterlord. There'd be a lot of people that would whisper in hushed tones about Sodom. Realistically, they probably didn't sell a lot of albums, but word of mouth, they were quite influential. Well, the good news about this album is, even though it's 2025, it still has that rough around the edges, but better production values. This is old school thrash of the highest pedigree. And if you like Slayer, 1987, Rain and Blood, or thereabouts, this is the album for you. To me, this is like Apocalypse Now with a thrash metal soundtrack. Look at the album cover.
Yes.
So,
loves the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yeah, Angel Ripper. He loves lyrics about war, destruction, the psyche of the soldier. really interesting lyrics. It's got the speed drums, the metal jazz guitar. When I say metal jazz, guitar lines that are like this, sort of interweave. It's a great album.
I'll have to check that out.
I think it is. 48 minutes of total mayhem. And this is one band that have not changed their identity one iota. Better production values, but still rough around the edges. So if you like your metal a bit raw and Sodom, The Arsonist, that's the album for you. The Arsonist.
I will definitely check that out.
I don't know what's happened. I've gone metal this year.
Metal. Well, yeah. All right. Well, if while we're on the theme of metal, I suppose, and mine aren't in any particular order, album called Private Music, Deftones. I don't know if you're a Deftones fan.
I have some of their albums.
Yes.
They're on the comeback trail. They're on the comeback trail.
Are. Like, the Deftones, I think they're an awesome band, and they've put out some absolutely cracking great albums. I think White Pony is an absolute classic. I think that some of their other stuff, like Diamond Eyes, albums like that have been great, not classic, but White Pony's classic. This one's not another White Pony, but it is absolutely fantastic. So the first thing you notice about it when you hear it, I don't know if you've heard it, Pete, is the production. It does sound like it's much more heavily produced. It hits you with a wallop. Like it's, got the big sound. So big, bassy, the drums and the bass just really
hits you in the gut.
Yeah. It's that kind of production. Not raw, very polished, but Chino's vocals are, as always, like phenomenal. Like that guy is as a singer, he reminds me a little bit of Mike Patton, and he's in range. Like he can go from like hitting a high note to absolutely screaming his guts out, and somehow without your vocal cords coming out of his mouth. It's just incredible vocalist. But that's just an absolute cracker of an album. Best tracks, Locked Got Club, Cut Hands, and I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but it's called Ecdysis or Ecdysis. But yeah, if you're a Deftones fan, this is a cracker. I think it's better than Gore, which was one of their other recent albums. But I think this one leaves Gore for dead.
Well, they've influenced so many bands. A Perfect Circle, Glassjaw, Tool,
Honourable.
Yeah, so, all these bands that they've influenced, it's ripe for a return, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's concert pickings to be made.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, my number 4 is by a band whose band leader I recently interviewed on Rock Daydream Nation, Max Cavalera. And the band is Soulfly, and my 4 pick is Shama. I like this album a lot. It's fresh metal, but I know that his son, who's the drummer, has been picking up all these genres of music, whether it's trip hop, whether it's electronica, whether it's some tribal instruments. This band is not afraid. So it's not just straightforward thrash metal. It's always very interesting. And this album is loosely conceptual. It's a concept album about a person, a young boy that leaves the city to rediscover himself and go into the jungle and find himself. So to me, it's an album, it's fresh metal that you could probably just play without the headphones, but you could also listen to enjoy the experience of a surround sound experience where you feel like you're in the jungle, because there's all these different sort of instruments and different sound effects. And I would say it's a very dense experience. There's a lot of things happening.
Had a tribal type influence, tribal type sound.
Very tribal.
Yeah.
So Zion Cavalera is on drums, Mike DeLeon is on lead guitar, and Max does, most of the writing on it. But I just think it's a killer album, and I think Soulfly are back in business. He is prolific, Max. He's done a lot of stuff. A lot of side projects, and in the interview, check it out on Rock Daydream Nation. There's a few things that he wants to do in the future, but I think Soulfly is where his heart is in.
Yeah,
and definitely check out this album. But
I think one to watch in the future to see what he does come up with.
Yeah, absolutely. So check it out. All right, what's your next pick?
Okay, my next pick is an Australian artist, and this one goes back to the folky style I was talking about before. A woman by the name of Carla Janee. I don't know if you know her, Pete, or know of her. The album's called Don't Be Afraid. It was a late release, so it only came out, I think it came out November, maybe October. It's her third album, and for those who don't know her, this album is very quite laid back and bare bones. Some of her earlier stuff, like the last album, which was called Hurts, you could compare it to, I suppose, like an Amy Mann type, like that style of singing. Not the same, but along those sort of lines. So, but anyway, this is her third album, and it's an absolute cracker of an album. It's like I said, it's much more laid back and mellow, more mellow than her earlier albums. Apparently, it's one that they've been tossing around with for a few years. So apparently, she'd been working on some of the songs and then come back to them years later and sort of rehash them a bit. And it's got some different sounds on it to some of her earlier stuff, but she's got a fantastic voice. She's from Perth, and it's a great album to check out. Favorite tracks are Wisdom Isn't Worth It, Passing, and Breaking Away, and highly recommended. As are her earlier albums, which are also phenomenal. And
lyrically, what does she talk about? Is it relationships? Is it social observation? Is it political?
More about this is more about self-confidence, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that type of
aspirational self-confidence.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose the clue's in the title of the album. Don't be afraid. It's about sticking your neck out and going where you might be a bit scared to go.
Yeah. Hasn't Australia been a wonderful has a wonderful pool of singer-songwriters in this country?
Yeah.
We seem to just produce more singer-songwriters per capita than in, a lot of other countries. There's just a wealth of talent.
Yeah,
in that genre, isn't it?
I think she's destined for big things. If there was another Australian artist she reminds me of, it would be like an Angie McMahon type.
Yeah.
It's
not on a major label, Pete?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest.
I'll look it up, folks. I'll put up the picture and we'll see.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. My number 3 is a band called Mesa, and the album is called The Spin. Now, this is Italian doom metal. Now, Pete, I think you'd like this.
Doom.
No, seriously, you would like this. This is, think early Sabbath, but blending it with The Cure, Pink Floyd, and early The Cult.
Jeez.
and I'm talking about the cult before Electric, that early when they were kind of gothic. This is a mesh of gothic and doom, and I hear a lot. I hear a bit of Merciful Fate. I hear a bit of Susie and the Banshees.
Wow.
This is the wonderful thing about music today, where you've got a lot of younger bands that are listening to their parents' record collection, or they're willing to listen to cross genres and melding it into some melting pot.
Yeah.
And, it's got this fantastic female vocalist, Sarah Bianchin. She's on vocals. And these songs are very kind of emotional. And this is, there's maybe a little bit of an emo element. A lot of the lyrics are very emotional. And the playing's quite intense. And the arrangements, there's a lot of mood dynamics, whether it's lightness and shade, dark, heaven and hell. Good songs to listen to. It's only got 7 songs on the album. Immolation, Fire of the Roof, and Thicker Blood. This is a band that you've got to check out. I think they're some big things. They're Italian. The Spin. But think early Sabbath mixed with The Cure. You're writing this down. Pink Floyd and early The Cult.
Yeah.
You're there. You're there.
Yeah. Wow.
But,
I'll definitely have to check that one out.
Worth checking out. But that's the way of the world with metal. Metal is picking up a lot of different influences. This metal is like a big tree. Yeah. All right, what's your number 2?
All right. Well, speaking of doom, something that sounds very video game-ish. This one's a soundtrack, 9 Inch Nails, and it's the soundtrack for Tron. I don't know how you say it, Aris or Airs or I don't know. But anyway.
The third Tron movie.
Yes, the Tron movie. That's what you call it. So this is a soundtrack. It's what you'd expect from 9 Inch Nails. There's not a lot of vocals on it. So if you're looking for something to scream your lungs out to, this isn't it. I should have counted how many songs I've got lyrics on them, but not many. But it's an absolute cracker. So it's it's distinctly Trent Reznor. He has a sound. No matter what he does, there's something about it that makes it very easy to identify as a 9 Inch Nails track. No matter what it is. So it's got that feel throughout the entire album, and I think there's 27 tracks on the album. Some of them are short tracks because, bear in mind, it's a soundtrack, so it might be something just for a short scene. It's the last big soundtrack he did was, of course, the one for the Social Network. That film,
David Fincher film. Yep.
Yeah, David Fincher film, and he won a Grammy Award for it. Academy Award for it, I should say, an Oscar for the best soundtrack for that.
An award.
So it's not like that. It has feels of that in parts, but it's far more like the soundtrack to the Quake video game or something like that. It's dark. It's very electronic and heavy beats, and he still manages to pull some new sounds out of the woodwork. And Anyway, I've been a 9 Inch Nails fan since day dot, and the
Downward Spiral.
I think right up there.
We need to do a show on 9 Inch Nails, so just put that in the pad and set that down for 2026, folks. I think I remember seeing the original Tron movie with my mum and dad at the drive-in theatre. They hated it. I loved it, which is part of the course for the movie experience in those days with a lot of the things I used to take my parents to. Yeah. And on the soundtrack was Journey. Fast forward 40 years and you get Trent Reznor.
Yeah.
Boy, have times changed.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the new movie. I heard it stinks like prawns on a hot summer's day on the patio.
It might well do. Soundtrack doesn't, I reckon.
Yeah, I will see it. I know it's on streaming. I'll wait till the price comes down and I'll see it. But I like his work. I like Trent's soundtrack work, and
Yeah, he manages to pull some new sounds out of whatever machines he has lying around in the studio.
He's got music. He's got game, guys. He's got musical game. So I will check that out.
And his touring band, I mean, I haven't seen obviously tour with this soundtrack, but whatever sounds he manages to pull out, his touring band seems to pull it off on stage as well. It's
yep,
yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
All right, thank you, Peter. Number 2, going down metal. This is the year of metal. Another German band. One of my favourite thrash metal bands of all time that produced one of my favourite thrash metal songs of all time. A band that pulled out this little masterpiece.
Oh, I knew you were going to say Destruction.
Infernal Overkill, Bestial Invasion. I don't think anybody can, tell me that there's a better thrash metal song ever written. I've got plenty of stories that we could tell about moshing in my Corolla, going to McDonald's, playing that in the cassette tape. Boy, that was... But getting back to that, this is one band where they put out a new album, and it's called The Birth of Malice. And Schmier is still still there. He's the lead vocalist. He's the main man. The band sound energized, aggressive, and 40 years they are still at the top of their game. All the elements are there: the breakneck drumming, the complex weaving guitar lines, the experimental time signature changes, and the guttural vocals. Singing that's a bit rough around the edges. I mean, there's even a song, The Birth of Malice, which is the first song where he goes, "Curse the gods." There's a lot of the songs where they're slightly sentimental, where they go back and look back at the past, but mostly they're looking to the future. I've been on a few other shows and I've been really waxing lyrical about this album. And I think that bands like Sodom and Destruction and Testament are waving the punk flag about social issues.
Yeah.
Political, where they're questioning religion, they're questioning toxic politics, how society's being toxic. The lyrics on this album, it's like punk. It's got that punk attitude. 1977 punk, that came out and were challenging Thatcherism and conservatism and all that sort of thing. Well, it's metal bands that are doing that.
Yeah.
I know there's a healthy hardcore punk scene, but guys and girls, metal, they are really
pushing the envelope.
They're pushing the envelope. So this is metal to its bones. Songs like Destruction, No Kings, No Masters. Oh, my God, this song is a masterpiece. It sounds like a little bit like Master of Puppets, but through the prism and the sonics of Destruction. Check it out. It's old school metal that sounds so now. There's a song called Scumbag Human Race. It's got a machine gun riff, hellish gnarly vocals. Pete, I tell you, if you played this, you'd feel like you're back in 1986 and you'd be moshing in the car.
Wow. So, it's
Birth of Malice, Destruction. And I have to blame you because you're the one got me onto this album.
The one that opened that door.
Open that door.
Opened the vault.
Yeah. I think you had a back patch with Destruction on your battle jacket, didn't you? You had it on your battle jacket? Yeah.
I've got that album, the what's it, Eternal Devastation.
Mad Butcher.
Mad Butcher, yeah. But that's where I stopped after that. But I loved them when I was younger, so I will have to check it out. Yeah, I mean, I still listen to those albums. Yeah.
I saw them live. They played the Crowbar in Sydney, this little pub.
Mm.
That was sensational.
Ah.
Tick. I'd love them to come back. I would love to see the big 3 or 4 in those German bands like Sodom, Destruction, Creator, come out to Australia and do a package tour. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yeah.
I reckon they'd get a good crowd.
Like a Donington type lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I reckon they'd get an audience.
Mm.
Creator, I think, are due to put a new album out. But these bands from the 80s are putting such strong material, and they've got like having a real kind of a later period renaissance. So there you go.
There you go. No. All right. Well, my last one, and this one I think is probably my favourite album of the year so far. And we haven't got long to go. So a band called Wet Leg. I don't know if you've heard this band.
I have. They were in my top 5 a couple of years ago with their debut. But for some reason, I haven't caught up with this album. I've got to catch up.
You need to catch up with it. It's called Moisturizer, and it's an absolute great. If you like the first album, you'll love this second album. It's an excellent follow up. I think it packs a harder punch than the first album. The first one did pack a good punch, but this is, if you don't know Wet Leg, it's kind of indie poppy. It's got a very pop feel, but it's still got an edge to it. Like it's got a good thump to it. The beats are really strong. There's good guitar riffs, although not guitar riffs like you would hear in a metal band. They're not forefront, but they're there. You can hear them, but it's. I think they go off live, and they've just toured. And again, it was a bloody weeknight in Melbourne, so I couldn't go. But yeah, this is just a fantastic album right from the first track, CPR. It's I think the single Catch These Fists is getting a fair bit of play on Triple J at the moment, and that's another absolute cracking song. My favourite song on the album though is Davina McCall, which is, I don't know, it's kind of different. It's more poppy. It's less thump, but more poppy. But yeah, these fantastic band out of the UK. These guys. They're from the Isle of Wight. Who would have thought? So there you go. But fantastic album.
I love that 2022 debut album.
Yeah.
That was in my top 10, top 5. I'm sure, it was on the show that we did that particular year. I just haven't got around to getting to it. So I will definitely catch up with that. And it went straight to number 1 in the UK. They're a big act over there, and hopefully they'll come out. Another band.
They did. They toured recently. I think they were playing about 2 months ago in Melbourne. But yeah.
Oh, I missed it. Oh well, they'll be back. I'll catch them.
I think they were here for a one-off show, supporting someone in Adelaide or something or other, and then they did their own shows in Melbourne and probably in Sydney. But
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Good pick. All right, my number 1, without further ado, is Testament's latest album, Parabellum. This is just a class release. This is one of the best albums they've ever done. It's musically complex, it's diverse, it's inventive. I'll say it again, Eric Peterson and Alex Skolnick are one of the best combination guitarists in metal. I've got a confession. When I put the CD in the car, the first song is For the Love of Pain, and Chuck Billy does this real death, growly vocal, and I popped the CD out of the CD player in the car because I thought I got the wrong album. It's like, like that, and it's Testament. So this band is willing to do, black metal, death metal. There's even a few songs that sound like, old Saxon meets Iron Maiden, new wave of British heavy metal, like Nature of the Beast. There's a ballad, Meant to Be, which is like, Billy's doing vocals. He's like doing a Tom Waits type vocal. So it's not like a syrupy power ballad. It's sort of like a ballad with a bit of edge. And then they'll do a song like a song that's, like Shadow People. That's like a Spree Fresh masterclass. It's a very uncompromising album. It's a band that, have been around for a while, but are willing to, push the boundaries and just do what they want to do, not be confined to a certain genre and just explore, push the boundaries of rock and roll. So I like this album a lot, and it's my number one.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you're giving me a few to check out this year.
Folks, tell us what your favourite albums were of 2025. Favourite concerts, favourite albums. We love reading your comments. You may or may not agree with our opinions, but that's what it is. It's all about opinions. Please like and subscribe to Rock Daydream Nation. We're building a community. Pete, once again, all the best, and thank you for your efforts in 2025, and see you next year, and onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards. Should be a cracker. Excellent.
Absolutely. Should be a cracker. See you later. All the best.
Thanks, Pete.
See ya.